Hey, welcome to Showboats, boys. Glad you guys could be back. Let's go and get this party cracking, guys. All right, here we go. Let's get this party started. All right, hold on. All right, guys. So, how's everybody doing today, man? How's everybody going, man? Man, today has been a day. Today has been a day. Wow. So we're gonna let everybody roll up in here. We're gonna let everybody get down, and get this thing cracking, man. Let me see. Find out where we at. Let's find out where we are, guys. All right, guys. All right. So I don't know if you guys heard. Welcome back to the show. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Show us some love. We're gonna let everybody start rolling up here in the camp and start like I said, letting everybody roll up in. Yeah. Um, it was something else I was gonna say. But um, it is I don't know if you guys saw it says what's Earl Spence's next move after Bud Duck. So we're gonna be getting into that today. So it's a whole lot of stuff to unfold, unpack, and all that stuff. So we can ready to get to it, guys. We are getting ready to get to that. So make sure you guys that are new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Let me make sure I got this thing going. Where we got some other little stuff going on. So here we go. All right, guys. All right. Here we go. All right, guys. So who's all up here in this camp? All right. Salute LT, salute T word. Yeah, man. Glad you guys could make it on back up in this camp, man. We're just getting everything signed in. How y'all doing today, man? Y'all see all the latest news and stuff that's going on with this boxing stuff, man. Bob Arum's got a lot to say. They saying that you're trying to push Errol Spence and to fight Keith Thurman. I don't think that's gonna happen. And it's just so much stuff to be unpacked. And Bob Arum said that he knows for a fact that David has been paid. He got paid. So there you have it. He's been paid. So looks like they're gonna keep moving on with that fight, guys. So it seems like it's gonna be pretty good. Seems like it's gonna be pretty good little thing that they gonna knock all that out. Let me get all this stuff set up, man. Kind of was a little late, had some stuff running a little late today. But like I said, I'm glad everybody else could make it on in. So we're gonna talk about that tonight. We're gonna talk about all that stuff tonight. Yeah, man, ain't nothing good, man. Nothing good, man. I don't have any good news. You guys hear about Earl Spence in the phone conversation? Somebody had Earl Spence did a conversation, so I actually saw it. Saw a few different channels talk about it, and I guess it broke ego about that. Earl Spence was talking to somebody. They didn't say who it was, and Earl Spence was talking about the Bud fight and how Bud didn't trust his lawyer, but he wanted to talk to Al Heyman personally or something like that. And Bud just kind of it was something that wasn't going right, and so um he's lead to believe that kind of had something to do with it. And he was caught off guard. So they also talked to uh Stephen Espinosa, and they asked him about his thoughts about it. He said that they all were blindsided. He didn't know that was going on, so it kind of caught him off guard. So it's a whole lot to talk about, man. What up, Avion Green? Appreciate you rolling up here in this camp, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, man. We're gonna have a pretty good show tonight, man, because there's a whole lot to talk about tonight, a whole lot. And we're starting with Bob Arum and Stephen Espinosa. So Stephen Espinosa, his part was short, so we'll just talk about that, get that out the way real quick. He said that he was blindsided about Bud. He didn't know what to expect. They thought that the negotiation was moving on, but he thought that it was kind of moving slowly. It's moving a lot slower than what it should have, basically. And then come to find out, Terrence Crawford had did the 52 42 fakeroo. So he got up out of there. So that was one thing. That was crazy. And so is Stephen Espinosa. Now, the thing that I'm trying to understand about this is the vibe that I'm trying to get is Stephen Espinosa is he still willing to talk to Bud if Bud comes back around, right? Like I've been in my feelings about it. I was hoping, I was like, look, man, if Spence don't fight this dude, it's cool. I hope Spence moves to 154, but I really will hope to see that fight because I want Spence to prove or Bud to prove who's the best. You know what I mean? I think it's a 51-49 fight. I think it's real close. I give the tip to Earl Spence more than I do Crawford. And I just think like that Spence is a little more mentally focused than Crawford. That's what I'm getting out of it. That he really wants to fight a little bit more. And Bud ducked. Bud ducked. I don't see why Bud walked away from that fight. I mean, they're saying Bud making a pretty good penny and he's getting a pretty good portion. And Bob Arum did say that Bud has been paid a certain percentage, a large percentage of his money. So Bud has been paid. So that fight is going to go on, you know? Yeah, Steven said he really want that fight. Yeah. I think, the thing about it is they know that this fight is going to gross a lot of money. You know, it really is. For whatever reason that Bud is kind of skeptical of his own attorney. He had a problem with his attorney. He wanted to work with Al, and that came from Spence's mouth. That came off this tape. And I heard the tape, I listened to the tape, and I don't know who Spence was talking to, but Spence went into a little bit of detail. He's like, look, I want this fight. And Spence was tuned into the fight. And for whatever reason, Bud was trying to reach out to Al Heyman. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't know. So that's a mystery. I don't know why Al Heyman wouldn't talk to him, so to speak, and try to get him down there. But well, maybe he didn't because he's not signed to PBC and he represents Spence. So he didn't want to make Spence feel like he's not doing a good job for him. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. So you heard it too. You say you didn't understand it. Yeah. And I didn't understand it. So I want to know really what I really want to know about it is one, the basic thing is, can Bud come back? Did Bud burn a bridge with PBC and Showtime? Did he burn that bridge by doing something different? And can he come back and pick up negotiations? Has Spence heart changed? Has Spence felt like that he doesn't want to do the fight now? You know what I mean? And then when you come down to it, we're also going to talk about the WBC too, because the WBC said that they were wanting to fight. That's why they didn't order the other fights. So the sanctioning bodies feel like they have been messed over as well too. So it's a lot of stuff. It's a whole lot of stuff that's going on. And remember, I told you guys, I said it's going to be a big downfall. It's going to be some consequences and repercussions after this. It really is. And a lot of people are going to be upset, and a lot of people are going to move differently. Yeah. The League of Legacy. Spence said Al kept telling Crawford he would be taken care of and they make it happen. So it sounded like he was talking to him. Okay. Okay. So I don't know, man. But the biggest thing that we really gotta hope for on all of this, though, all jokes aside, is that I hate what Bud did. I mean, I hate that the whole situation didn't happen. But let's look at it like this: undisputed, and that big payday is still there if both parties want it. I just hope Bud hasn't burnt too many bridges that he can't cross, because the WBC, the IBF, the WBA, and the WBO want money, and they make a lot of money off these fights. They make a lot of money. And when you're not fighting these big time fights and generating all that money, which gives them publicity, which gives them more money, they going to feel some type of way because they missed out on all of that. And then now Spence is not going to fight this year, probably. So the WBA is not making money off of that, which they could have got 2 fights in this year with that. They made a little bit of money this beginning of the year and that stuff. And you got to think they need this money. Those sanctioning bodies need the money, man. All businesses need the money. They got employees, they got all that. And they need those super big fights too. Because everybody is kicking in and everybody's is paying people under the table. They washing palms. Why do you think these big millionaires get away with so much shit? They get away with so much stuff, man, because they have relationships that's behind closed doors. They grease people palms, they pay people, they have a big old staff, you know what I mean? And that's why it's like a machine. All these companies are machines: PBC, WBC, WBA, IBF, IBO, WBO. All of them are machines. So they all need money. So the thing about it is, when Crawford does something like this, right? Because they all feel backdoored, right? They all can handle it If Crawford had said, nah, man, I'm gonna go get another fight. This ain't working out, and I backed out, then guess what? They all could have been ordering fights. They all could have went a different route. But the reason why they didn't do a different route is because of the fans. It's because of us. They didn't want the backlash. They heard so many people for so many years chanting Spence, Bud, and everybody wanting to fight, and they really didn't want to piss the fans off that wanted that fight of that magnitude. They really didn't. So I I compliment all the sanctioning bodies because they stayed out of the fight. They really did, man. They stayed out of that fight. And I'm happy that they stayed out of the fight because it showed that they want to bring boxing back. You know, I think everybody is tired of the state of boxing. Bob Arum also said that he understands that they signed Crawford because Crawford is a good fighter. Bob Arum said that he don't, that basically Adrian Broner is a clown and that Adrian Broner, there's too many problems that come with Adrian Broner and that he don't understand why. And they asked him, they said, with fighters like Adrian Broner, how do you feel about that? He said, a lot of times those fighters are not worth the things that they put out. It's not worth it in the end dealing with those fighters. Said, Showboat, what's the reason why Earl leave 147 and leave Bud to mandatory? Could be boots. One reason could. I don't think that Spence really wants to dodge boots. I do think that what it is Spence wants to win belts in different divisions. I think Spence is big guy. He walks around. He said that one time he blew up to 180, 190. So he's pretty big dude that's shrinking himself down to 147 pounds. You know what I mean? So I think he'd probably be stronger and more comfortable at 154. And so I think that he wants to move up for more challenges. And he looks at it like this. I've already beat all the people in the division there. Yeah, there's new guys that's coming in the division, but I'm ready to get all those belts and move up one more time. So I don't think that he's doing it because of boots. He's leaving because of boots. I think that if the money's right and he is mandatory, he is undisputed, and the money's right, I think he will stay to fight boots. If it's between him fighting boots and him fighting the big, tall, skinny guy, I think he'll stay and fight boots. I think he would. I think he would for the payday, especially if he's undisputed. But him and the Bud situation got to play out. He would have to beat Bud probably twice unless he stops Bud, knocks Bud out, where it looks like they don't want a rematch. You know what I mean? So I think that Spence would move up to 154, but I don't think it's because of I don't think it's solely because of boots. I don't think Spence is scared of boots at all. Not saying you said Spence is scared of boots, but I don't think that that's the whole thing is because right now you got to really think about it. Anybody that fights boots, like put it this way, Bud and Spence right now have earned the right for undisputed. That's why what Bud did was some bull, right? But they've earned the right to be undisputed. So they don't want to take a step back because with boots, what does boots come with? Boots doesn't come with a great big old payday, and he doesn't come with a belt. Even though I'd like to see them fight boots, right? Do you really want to go down and take a chance at fighting boots, or would you rather fight Bud, right? So then once you beat Bud and you undisputed, let's say you got to fight Bud twice and you win both times and you undisputed. Do you stay for boots or do you move up and then you fight somebody at 154 and start trying to march your way on to trying to become undisputed at 154? What would you do? Because at this age, Spence is 32 years old. He doesn't have a whole lot of time to be effective. He's got to put that weight on. He's going to have to fight a few people because Jamel has got to get rid of the belts, and Jamel got to move up because Spence is not fighting Jamel. I know a lot of people say, oh, I want to see Spence fight Jamel. I don't want to see Spence fight Jamel. Why would I want to see that? Because think about it like this. Spence and Derrick James were together first. Jamel said, hey, do you mind if I come and work out with Derrick James? Spence said, cool. He said, I talked to Derrick James and brought him aboard. If these two guys fight, how they going to do tape breakdown to tell the other one how to beat the other one, right? Whose corner is Derrick James going to be in to tell them what adjustments to make in the corner? I don't want to see that fight. I don't want to see it. Now, if they say they're going to let them fight for some money, Derrick James stays out of it, and they do it like it's a sparring match, and they let these two guys fight, I would pay to see that. I would pay to see that, see them two guys go in it. But a real full fight camp is not going to work, man. I think they had to train themselves on their own, come get in shape, or they get in shape and then Dirk stays out of it and let them two say, hey, let's see who's got the best stuff together, who can make the better adjustments without a trainer. But is that really you getting the whole full Errol Spence? Are you getting the full Jermell Charlo? Because Derek James and Errol Spence are a team. Derek James and Jermell Charlo are a team. They trust each other. You see what I'm saying? So when you're in there and you have your coach in there, your coach tells you the adjustments to make, tell you what to do right, tell you what you're missing. You know what I'm saying? You can make adjustments in the ring. Even Floyd needed that. You know what I mean? When Floyd fought Shane Mosley, if you remember, he went in there banging it out with Shane Mosley, and Shane Mosley almost dropped Floyd Mayweather. So when he went back to the corner, Roger told him, say, hey, man, stop slinging it out with him. Go in there and box. Stop. Go box and you'll beat this dude easily. So Floyd went in there and made adjustments. He went in there and he boxed. But in Floyd's head, he was in there trying to slug it out. And that's what he didn't want to do with Shane Mosley. So you need a good coach. That's why coaches like Derek James need a Coach of the Year award. You know what I'm saying? Because they help the fighters make adjustments. They understand that fighter. They know what their fighter need mentally. They know what their fighters need physically. You know what I'm saying? They know what's going to bring the best out of their fighter. Same way what Floyd did with Tank. Hey, man, you fight Mario Barrios. Dude, you behind on the scorecards. And what happened? Bam. Bud was fighting over there and his people in the corner. Hey, you behind on Sean Porter. And he's like, what? I'm behind? He made the adjustments, right? It takes a team effort. You know, boxing is a team sport, even though it's an individual. You know what I mean? So it takes a lot. And I don't want to see Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo go at it because they don't have the rest of the team with them. That's my way of thinking. Yeah, man. The League of Legacy said, Bridge burning Bud and bad business Bud has to get out of his own way. He's like that friend that would rather be wrong, doing things in his own way than right, doing what someone else says. Hey, man, you are 100% right. Bud has his ego problem, dude. Nobody can tell Bud crap. Nobody can tell Bud nothing, man. That's Bud's problem, man. That's Bud's downfall. Nobody can tell Bud anything, man. That's Bud's problem, man. And that's something that Bud's got to adjust. You know, Bud, it's like they said he didn't. That's what Spence said. I don't know. I wasn't there, but Spence said he didn't trust his lawyer, right? Well, who do you trust? Who do you trust that's going to get you the proper deal? You know what I'm saying? You could have, when you talk to Steven Espinosa, you talk to all of them, you talking to them. What did they say was wrong? Because now you said that you felt okay enough that you agreed to the contract, the term sheet. Bud agreed to the term sheet. So at that point, the fight should have been made. I understand all in the beginning, he felt a little wishy-washy about it, but at that point, it should have been done. You know what I mean? And that's what Bob said. Bob said that it was a few times on a fight, like I think they were making the Kell Brook fight. And they were making a Kell Brook fight, and they sent over the contract to Terrence Crawford, and Terrence Crawford was taking his time signing the contract. I don't know if it was because Terrence Crawford was ready to get out of there or what the problem was, but there was another problem when he was with Bob Arum, and he had a problem with signing the contract. So I don't understand what's going on with Bud. I don't know if Bud has people in his ear that's not business savvy, that's telling him stuff, and he's following behind that. Maybe that's what Bud is doing. It's crazy, but Bud has got to get that whole financial business side together because, man, he's 35 years old. Bud doesn't have a lot of time, man. He doesn't have a lot of time. He has to get on the Spence fight. He has to get on whoever's a fight after that, and he has to be getting ready to start thinking about retirement. He does because he's 35 years old. Next year when he fights Spence, if Spence and WBC and all those people, PBC and everybody agree to do this again, and they agree that they're going to do that, then he'll be heading to 36 years old. I mean, it'd be towards the end of the year, but it'll still be the same year he turns 36. You know what I'm saying? So he's got to take that in consideration. And all this time outside the ring, in some ways it helps Bud because he's giving his body a rest, but in some ways it hurts Bud because he's not staying active. You know what I mean? And as you get older, your reflexes and stuff slow down, and all that stuff slows down on a fighter. Bud is fighting against Father Time. It's starting now. And I don't want to say Bud is old right now because that's going to rob Spence of his accomplishment. If we say Bud is old, Bud is, for the record, Bud is not old right now, but Bud doesn't have a lot of time to keep playing these Bud games. He just don't. LT said, I like Crawford. I like Crawford thinking, but he does need to stand on his own word. But to be fair, I haven't heard from him in a while. Right? He haven't. Well, I think what it is Bud knows his fans and the public and everybody's a little we pissed at Bud. A lot of us are pissed at Bud. Period. A lot of us are. And Bud, he's never really been in the camera, but he knows what was messed up. His family and friends are fighting it out. Um, Bernie the boxer is out talking about it. Bernie got some silly video up talking about some, oh man, Spence is Doug. I mean, Bud has left Spence in the dust, and Bud is out here doing all this. I didn't watch it. I saw the heading of it, and I'm like, you proud and you happy that your boy Bud ducked after y'all cried about Spence ducking you guys for so-called quote unquote 5 years? It doesn't make sense, man. Doesn't make sense. Oh, yeah, you guys. Plus, I'm gonna make sure that I actually got, as you guys see on the screen, I'm going to put up the phone lines, let you guys know that stuff is open. So in case somebody want to call in and sound off, you very well can. Give you a little time for that, man. 3312. There we go. I'm gonna put this up and let people call in or whatever else. Hopefully, as people come in, make sure you guys hit the like button. And we're gonna go ahead and hold on. Let me go and pin this up. I'm going and pin that on up in there, man. Make sure everybody see that one. There we go. It's up there, man. All right. There's the number up there. The phone lines are open. So if somebody wants to call in and sound off, they can. They can. Yeah, it's open, man. Go ahead and call on in, man. We are up and ready. We up and ready. Hold on. Make sure. Make sure we got it up. Yep. Okay. Hold on. All right, go ahead. Is the phone line is up and ready, man. You can call on in, man. 954-408-3312. That's it, man. It's open for you, my guy. You can call in and sound off, man. Yeah. Like I said, man, you guys got something you want to get off your chest and you feel like it's just too much to type, man, feel free to call in, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I think everybody should be heard about this because needless to say, man, people do listen to all this stuff, man. People go to different channels and listen to that stuff, man. So what you guys say, it gets back to Bud. It gets back to it. Because I'm gonna let you guys on a little secret. And you guys know that we in different chat rooms and you never know where people are. And I share this in some of the chat rooms I'm in. And actually, I'm actually in some of the chat rooms with Terrence Crawford's family. His nephew being there riding for him, man. He rides for him all the time. And a lot of you guys know that. A lot of you guys know that. My boy Dreek comes in, he talks about it. Hold on.
Yo. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Showboating Sports, man. Who's calling in? Where you from?
Showboat. How you doing tonight, brother?
All right, man. Who am I speaking with?
LT.
All right, man. Where you from, LT?
Out of St. Louis.
All right, man. All right. Talk to us, man. Sound off.
All right. Now, I'm an old man. I'm just going to let you know this.
Okay.
Right? I'm just going to give full disclosure.
Okay.
Now, I just to be totally fully disclosed,
okay.
I watched Muhammad Ali on just regular television and Sugar Regulator and everybody else.
Okay.
But, I gotten back into boxing just over the last, say, 4 years.
Right.
So I had been missing a while. And you tell me, I've got a question for you. That's why I called in.
Okay.
I like the way boxing has gone because it's been good for the fight for the boxers. But back in my day, bro, fights got made, right?
Right.
And you had a lot of muddy hands, including the mob in it.
Mm-hmm.
But fights made. In today's boxing, do you yourself believe that these promotional entities need to form a league? And I need to know that because that's the last stage of boxing. It's a dangerous game, and the best need to fight the best.
Right. Right.
I think you agree with that. I've got no inkling from you that you wouldn't want to see the best fighting the best.
Right.
Right? What do you think will bring these people together, right? Without having all these other countries disrespecting fighters by just throwing money at them and just getting away from the sport. Just your honest assessment, brother. I'll listen.
Man, that's a good one. I do think it should be some kind of regulation to it, because what it is it's all over the board. You got these fighters out here cheating, using PEDs and that kind of stuff. So I think that you're right. If they do form some kind of league, so to speak, and hold people accountable and regulate it a little bit, I think that we'll all be happier. The fighters will be safer. And then maybe they can put that money together and make sure that these fighters, when they leave out, that they can have health care and stuff like that later on down the road. So I don't think that's a bad thing. I just think that it's got to be done properly. And it's got to be the right people in charge, right? Because if you get those people that are in charge that don't want to pay fighters, or they're just out there really to exploit fighters, it can be a really bad situation. You know what I mean? And I think that once you regulate it more, if everybody fights up under that umbrella, there'll be Nevada testing for everybody. You won't get these fighters cheating. You won't get fighters out of certain areas like Mexico that can use clenbuterol and all this other stuff, you know? So I do think it'd be a good thing, but it's got to be done and structured properly.
Yes, sir. I totally agree on that, because there has to be some kind of structure. Now, I saw, and I'm going to go after this. I saw your KTB, and it says that's what BLK is doing now. I really don't know what that company's doing, but I think it could be nothing but good for the boxers. But
Right.
then you just kind of my question: what's really good for the sport?
Right.
And I think we may be leaning to that now, especially when you're going to have, international boxing actually trying to punch its way through, like the zone here in the United States. I didn't, personally, I would, buy, I have a subscription and then terminate my subscription with the zone. It was like that for me, because really the majority of the fights they put on weren't relevant to me at home.
Right.
You follow me when I'm
Yeah. It was fighters that you didn't know about or even care about.
Exactly. Yes, sir. So here's where I'm hoping that the community will somehow come together, fix it, because they're going to lose me again. And if they lose me, they're going to lose people like me, because people like me are older than you, and we enjoyed the sport. And a lot of them already left.
Right.
Being honest, bro. I see some channels out here trying to really support the fighters, and I hope you continue to do that. But I'm going to stick with you, and I'm going to stick with a couple of more to try to keep my interest. But they got to stop this. This fight should have never. Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, I like them both. We needed to see that. And I know a lot of people that I've listened to over the YouTube feel the same way, and you do too. And if this doesn't happen, I'll give it to next year. Then I'm just, it's me absent and just buying what I like to see. That's it.
Exactly.
Not just support I always have. And it's going to come that way if boxing doesn't fix it.
Man, I 100% agree with you. And what KTB said, that's what BLK is doing. BLK is a company that's coming from over Great Britain, right? And Bob Arum said he knows one of the guys that's in there. So I think that they do have this money that they're coming with, right? But this is my thought process on it. What makes them different anything from the zone? The zone couldn't do it, but why is BLK going to do it? How can they pull it off if the zone couldn't? So that's one of my concerns too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. You have a good night, bro. I'm going to continue to listen, and I'll chat in too.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you calling in, man. I got to give his brother a Paul. Thanks for calling in, man. ATL Unanimous. Hey, what's going on with you, man? Appreciate you coming on in, man. Thanks for rolling up in here, fam, man. Thanks for all you guys that's in here. And what this gentleman just said on the phone is just that real boxing fans feel like they've been cheated. He said he's been a part of boxing for so many years, and myself too. I've been through the boxing from the 80s all the way up. I've watched a lot of these guys fight. And right here, right now, man, it's like the sport, everybody is dropping the ball and everybody has money on their mind, right? This is the problem with that. When you generating this kind of money, it starts bringing even more and more attention. And times have changed. Times have changed from where C. Dewberry. Yeah, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you rolling up in here, man. Yeah, we've been cheated. So times have changed, right? Let's say this, man. Let's be honest with her. Let's just really get down to the nitty-gritty of this tonight. Times are changing. Don King era is over. Bob era stuff is over. They were that's kind of the mob type stuff back in the day. Because like I told you guys before, Don King was going to have Bob Arum knocked off. And Bob Arum's people, which were part of the mob, warned him that anything happens to Bob, you'll die that same day, correct? So we do know there was mob ties in there, correctly? So some of those guys and them older players, Don King had it on lock. And no matter what you guys say, Don King treated boxers wrong. He really did, but we got the fights that we wanted to see. So then Muhammad Ali went and started Top Rank. He brought in Bob Arum. So then now you have people like Kinahan, right? And when Kinahan came in, he started putting more stuff in there. So now that happened, the FBI, well, the FBI that's really kind of overseas, they all stepped in because they're like, nah, this is not going to happen. It's a lot of money going on. And so now you have all this other stuff. So having this thing structured and getting people out of the way, because see, now, like I said, boxing is making so much money and they're regulating it. They're slowly doing it right in front of our eyes. So the government is going to step in because there's millions of dollars changing hands. They don't want these crooks to get it. And it's all that stuff that's going on right now, right? So Kinahan, he might be out of it right now. I don't know anything about BLK. I don't know anything about him. I don't know who's behind him, really. I don't know that. I know it's a guy called Desmond. Desmond is part of it. I heard Adrian Broner say that. I also heard Bob Arum talk about one of the guys that's over there from Dublin that he knows and he has a lot of money. So we don't know what's going on. But what we do know is that the IRS, the FBI, the CIA, and all these other people are not playing around with the mob bosses and all that kind of stuff and people money laundering. Right? So we do know that. So that's going to get this thing regulated within itself some type of way. I don't know if it's going to be like we like it. I'm not sure how it is. I just hope it falls for us, but we never know. We never know. We never know. KTB said, and they exploit AB because I didn't see him at the press conference with any representation. He looks bad. Well, it's like what they said last night, man. AB is just really there for advertisement. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So they brought that up in the chat yesterday, that AB is for advertisement. And that's what a lot of it is right now. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, right now is too much business and not a love for the sport. That's what it is. Everybody's trying to top Floyd Mayweather. Everybody's trying to see if they can make hundreds of millions of dollars. And what happens is you're pushing the envelope to go try to make this big old purse. And a lot of times fighters are missing it. You know what I mean? Bud just got damn lucky that this company stepped in and decided that they were going to pay him a lot of money. Because at the end of the day, nobody else was going to spend money on Bud. Nobody was going to spend money on Bud. DAZN, they asked Eddie Hearn, do you think about making an offer to Bud? What Eddie Hearn said was, we don't have welterweights that can feed him. So there's nothing we can do. That came out of Eddie Hearn's mouth. Bob Arum said that he loses money on Bud. PBC and Bud couldn't work nothing out. De La Hoya Golden Boy didn't go after Bud because Bud is at the end of his career. So you're not going to put all this money and time in Bud because Bud's career didn't get built up through Bob Arum, and Bud didn't do himself a service by not doing interviews. Like right now, if Bud has a fight coming up and they're paying Bud this kind of money, why the hell ain't Bud pushing and advertising that fight? Why are not the fights on all his websites? Why is he not coming out doing interviews? Why is he not pushing that? Hell, December the 10th is right around the corner. You know what I'm saying? Bud is the type of person, well, I'm just going to go fight. Well, guess what? You want people to give you guaranteed money, and that's what Bob Arum said today too. Bob Arum said that one of the bad things about Terrence Crawford not having a promoter is because a promoter gives them guaranteed money. See, when he was with Bob Arum would say, "Okay, look, we're gonna sign on this fight, Terrence. I'm gonna give you so many $1 million to fight Spence, and I'll keep the rest." What happens is Bud is not making all the money he could make because Bud is not getting pay-per-view money and getting money on the back end. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. C. Dewberry, yeah. Bud hadn't even posted it. But it goes back to the business of it, in it. If you're a good businessman, or they've already told Bud millions of times, and Bud has heard all of us talk about it. You have to promote. You have to come on channels. You have to do all that. But at the end of the day, these channels got to be promoting the right thing about boxing. So a lot of these channels on here ain't reporting the right shit. They just not, man. They just, let's report this. And they agreeing with these channels and agreeing with everything they can to see if they can get their followers up. You know what I mean? Like right now, I can go out here and damn flip-flop and say a bunch of shit that I know that's going to tip the algorithms, right? Guess what? It'll blow me up for a couple of videos. I might not have longevity, but I can switch up. I can say a bunch of shit. And we can have a whole lot of people in here that's coming here arguing back and forth and going back and forth and have about a bunch of people, right? Because we starting bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Just for clickbait. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of channels do that. They switching, they swiping, and it's not good for the sport. I understand why they do it because they get tired of the algorithms going against them. They get tired of people coming in, leaving, not being a part. So they're fighting for their little bit of territory. So that's why these channels are doing it. But it's up to us, all of us, because some of us got channels. Even with our channels and with us being fans of the sport, we're into this whole community together, this whole YouTube community. But we have to hold each other accountable. We have to. That's the only way it's going to bring this damn sport back, man, is if we stick together and we say this and we talk about boxing on our own terms about what we like and what we don't like and don't tiptoe around the shit. You know what I mean? If a boxer is on bullshit, call him out on bullshit. It doesn't matter if it's your favorite boxer or not. You know what I'm saying? Because your favorite boxer is ruining the sport. You telling me you like Canelo and you okay with Canelo fighting a bunch of tomato cans, Rocky Fielding, BJ Saunders. You okay with that? I'm not okay with that. I used to like Canelo, but I got sick of Canelo fighting tomato cans. I got tired of that shit. And he keeps fighting tomato cans. He thought he was going to bully Bivol, but he couldn't bully Bivol. So I just said, you know what? I go on and argue every day about Canelo. Oh, man, you prejudiced. Man, I don't give a damn what y'all think. You can say I'm prejudiced all you want. You think I'm prejudiced because I'm talking about Canelo. But if I talk about Keith Thurman, nobody ain't got nothing to say about that shit. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And it's like this, Keith Thurman's ass was wrong. I hate that him and Spence won't fight because Spence is digging his heels in the ground saying, I won't fight Thurman. And I understand why. Because Spence could have been in this position a long time ago, or Thurman could have beat Spence. You know what I mean? It wasn't given back then. Spence has gotten a lot better since then. You know what I mean? Spence has gotten a whole lot better since then, man. You know what I'm saying? Clint Eastwood, man, appreciate you rolling up in here, man. We're in here just talking like we do every night, man. And we had a caller that called in, man, and we sharing the same sentiment, man. It's like boxing is messed up. But boxing is messed up when you got people that don't stand up for what they like. You know what I'm saying? These YouTubers getting their damn feelings because they think people should accept their bullshit. The boxers feel like people should accept their bullshit. And I'm like, nah, we shouldn't have to do that. I'm not going to tiptoe around, man. I'm going to tell you like it is. I'm not going after a channel because I don't give a damn about them other channels enough to say, oh, I'm going to go dog a channel. The only reason why I brought up Blue was because of that situation. I've been saying that every night. Because I've been getting people hit me up. Oh, man, y'all attacking, y'all doing this, y'all haters, y'all crabs, and all this other shit. That ain't what I'm here for. But what I am here for is saying that I watch other channels. I watch boxers. I support them. But if they own bullshit, I'm going to call them out for it because I want that shit to stop. You know what I mean? And if you let that shit slide, none of us is going to be happy. You know what I mean? C. Dewberry said, I don't think the fight ever happens now. Not even at 154. How do you sit down with somebody who wastes your time for 5 months? Well, this is the thing. I agree with you saying. I think the fight will happen, and the reason why I think the fight will happen is because Spence really wants undisputed. Spence has all the belts. He needs one more belt. That fight right there will generate a lot of money. It will give everybody what they want. But Bud is the only person that's got to be on board. You know what I mean? Bud's got to be on board. And the thing about it is this company, BLK, they getting away with this. They not getting away with this fight right here. If a lot of people support that bullshit, I'm not supporting that fight. I'm not supporting Bud fighting a bullshit fight. I'm not doing it. I'm not putting a dime in because that's telling them that, yeah, we'll pay you and we'll interact with that and allow you guys to do that. Nah, you can't do that again. Nah, don't let them get away with this one because that'll stop other fighters from going over there. You see Adrian Broner ran over there. You don't think Adrian Broner's not talking to the Shakur Stevensons, well, Bud could be talking to Shakur. I don't know. I'm not saying he is or not, but they really good friends. Then you got Adrian Broner. You don't think Adrian Broner and Tank talking? Adrian Broner might be like, hey, man, hey, come on over here. Because, you know, the reason why Tank is with Floyd is because of Adrian Broner. So you don't think Broner going to say, hey, man, come over here? Adrian Broner put out a statement today. He was upset because he said none of these other boxers that are champs told him congratulations of where he is now. He said that I feel like I told you guys congratulations. I'm not a hater, but it's funny when they do it, but it's messed up when I do it. So basically what he's saying is I'm going to give them the same thing. I'm not going to support them. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what Adrian Broner is doing. So you don't think Adrian Broner is not going to try to burn and tear things down? Clint Eastwood said boxers used to fight each other no matter what. They made it into a personal business now instead of a sport. That's exactly what it is. But you know what? Floyd helped the sport in a lot of ways. Also, Floyd hurt the sport in a lot of ways too, because that old shit, every fighter's trying to be undefeated. You know what I mean? The drop. What's good, fam? Appreciate you rolling up in here, man. Thank you for coming on. Yo, what's good, bro? Like the channel, keep up the grind. Thank you, man. Appreciate your support, man. Make sure you follow. Make sure you come hang out with us, man, and all of that, man. Everybody's opinion count, man. You know, and we all just in here keeping it real. And like I said, man, we all got to keep the same sentiment that we got now. You know what I mean? That everybody's on is that we cannot support that BLK fight with Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying we don't support BLK. You do your own thing with that. You do your own thing with that. You make up your own mind with that. I don't know the company. I'm hearing it's a company overseas. I don't know how it's going to make it, right? But the thing that I hope is that fight right there does not do well. And the reason why I say that is because if Bud gets $10 million, let's say hypothetically he did get $10 million, which I don't believe at all, but let's say he got $10 million. If they make money off of this, they'll pay him $10 million to fight another tomato can. And do you think he'll fight that tomato can or fight Spence? Bud will hold up the damn sport until the cows come home. You know what I'm saying? C. Dewberry said, I think Spence is done at 147. He said that the other day he might be moving up. But Spence has been saying that a long time that he's going to move up. But this is the thing. Yo, see SM, man, appreciate it, fam. Appreciate it. He said, I'm not supporting the fight. Right. I don't mind about BLK. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't really care if they do good. In a way, I'm kind of hoping not. But if they better for the sport, I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is these fighters are not fighting anybody. And they came right in off the cuff by overpaying Bud to go fight a nobody. And the reason why they picked Bud is because that Bud and Spence fight was the best fight that could be made in boxing. And they knew that Bud was holding that belt hostage. The same way Canelo has been holding his belts, his status hostage. Now Canelo got 2 losses. And everybody's about sick of Canelo. In that whole fight that he did with Triple G, it didn't help Canelo out. That fight didn't help Canelo out. Canelo talking about, I hurt my hand. That's to buy himself some damn time because he want to go out there and he want to go find somebody else to cherry pick. He done ran out of people to cherry pick. Canelo has ran out of people to cherry pick. He's going to have to fight David Benavidez. He's going to have to fight Jermell Charlo. Hell, Jermell Charlo let's just be real here. Be real here. Jermell Charlo needs to be fighting Andrade. He needs to be fighting David Benavidez. They all need to be fighting, and Caleb Plant. They all need to get in some kind of a tournament. Because right now, at this point in their career, man, one of them got to emerge as being the best in those weight classes between 160, 160, and 168. Somebody's got to emerge with that, correct? Yes, I want to see them fight Canelo because Canelo is quote unquote the top dog, plus he's undisputed. So Canelo got to step in there and fight one of them dudes. You know what I mean? He's got to at some point, or he's got to get rid of those belts. You know what I mean? Canelo is on his way out. I promise you, Canelo is on his way out. Let me tell you why Canelo is on his way out. Canelo's body is starting to give out on him. You guys watch Canelo. His knee, his footwork is getting worse. Canelo's stamina is getting worse. You know what I'm saying? Canelo's stamina is getting worse, a lot worse, man. It really is. So I'm telling you guys, the sport is getting ready to change. There's going to be some shakeup going on because all the guys at the top are getting at the age right now where they got to make changes. Bud is 35. Next 2-3 years, he's got to be gone. Canelo's body is kind of, like I said, it's slowing down, man. At the end of every fight, Canelo is getting winded, even when he comes down in weight. You know what I'm saying? So Canelo's getting winded, so he's got to start making change. Canelo has had a lot of fights in his amateur, in his career. Canelo's had a lot of fights, man. He has. It's a lot of wear and tear on him, man. Whole lot. Karma, thank you for showing up. He's putting on too much weight for his little frame. He really is. And let me tell you something. You know who else did that and it caught up with him? Roy Jones Jr. Remember, Roy was doing good, kept moving up. Then he went up and fought Ruiz, right? He fought Ruiz. Then he dropped back down to fight Tarver. You can't go up and come back down like that. Because, see, this is what people don't understand is when you gain weight, your brain and the fluid in your face gains weight, the fluid, your brain and stuff, all that stuff gains weight. When you lose weight, you lose all this stuff. And then when you dehydrating yourself to make weight, you getting all that makes fluids and stuff come on. So it affects the brain too. It affects the brain. You know what I'm saying? So with Canelo doing that, I'm telling you, man, it's a wear and tear on your body. It's a wear and tear on your head and all of that. You know what I'm saying? And if you guys notice when Canelo fights, he's doing a little bit of stuff, but Canelo's footwork has never been the greatest, but it's getting even worse. It's getting worse, man. And at the end of every fight, if you look, Canelo is tired. And Triple G looked old. You know what I'm saying? Clint Eastwood said over 60 fights, wear and tear for Canelo. Hell yeah, wear and tear. Yeah. Good evening, Will. Appreciate you. Is it true, Spence versus Thurman? That is not true. And the reason why I said it's not true because Spence is going to have to fight Staniosis. Now, I'll tell you, that's my opinion. This is the problem. Boxing changes up a whole lot, but Spence has been very adamant about not fighting Thurman. He's been real adamant about that. Spence said, I am not fighting Thurman. And I can't blame that dude. Can you really blame Spence that Thurman gave this is what Spence said about Thurman. He said Thurman is not a man. I don't like Thurman. He's fake. Basically, what he's saying is Thurman says all this shit that he want to fight, but Thurman don't want to fight. He's calling Thurman a fraud. He said, I don't like Thurman as a person. And the reason why is because Thurman been bullshitting around. That's why Spence don't like him. And Spence said you was holding up the sport. And everybody knows Thurman was holding up the sport. Thurman's elbow was messed up. Everybody called him out on it. So he showed where his elbow and stuff was bruised. Then he said his hand was messed up. He could have had the surgery at the same time. When they fixed his elbow, they could have fixed his hand. But no, Keith wanted to go to Nepal and play the flute and become a philosopher and all that shit. And now he found his ass. He's found his ass on the outside looking in and begging for a fight. Talking, man, y'all send me a contract. You or Bud. Okay. Bud and Spence ain't sending you a contract, man. They don't have nothing to gain by fighting you. Bud would, because Bud needs that name on his resume. Right? You need to fight Boots. Thurman should have to fight Boots. Period. Shouldn't be no way out of that. The WBC or the WBA should order that fight. said didn't the drop, what's going on the drop? Said didn't Andrade call out Plant today? You think that fight happens? I don't know. I think it should. The only reason why I don't know if it'll happen or not is because Andrade he's not signed to PBC. Did he ever sign to PBC? And I think that, PBC, they would probably take him in, but what PBC want to do is they want to get these fighters. Well, you know what? Even if he don't have a belt, Caleb Plant doesn't have a belt, and they both need to fight. So I think that's a fight that can happen. That would be a really good fight. And then I think Jamal Charlo should get in there too. Jamal Charlo should fight David Benavidez. Because right now, all their careers are stalling. And there's no big belts coming their way because Canelo is holding all the belts and dodging everybody. You know what I mean? Karma said muscles use a lot of oxygen. He can't condition that much extra weight in such a short amount of time. You are dead right. You're dead right. He's going to keep getting tired. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? Canelo always had a problem with making weight. That's why Canelo and that clenbuterol thing happened. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people in that gym got caught. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what nobody say. It's a fact. It's not opinion. You know what I'm saying? And same thing I say about Canelo, I say about Dillian White. Those guys got caught. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Clint Eastwood. Yep. Yeah. That's why Wilder was tired. That's something. I'm glad you said it, Clint, because I said the same thing. Hold on, guys. Oh, we got somebody calling. We're gonna let somebody sound off. Hold on.
Call from
Isaiah.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Showboating Sports, you on the air. Who's calling in? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, bro? This is Isaiah from Atlanta.
All right, what's going on, Isaiah?
Chilling, man, chilling. Did you remember the video that came out a couple of years ago where Bud and Errol where they met up at the fight with Maurice Hooker and it was on ES News?
Yeah. Backstage. Yeah,
you remember that video?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You remember at the end of the video how Terrence Crawford said he's going to beat Errol Spence?
Yep. And they bet $1 million on
it
too.
Yeah, he said, I'm going to beat you. When I beat you, they're going to say you was weight drained.
Right.
So when he saw the Ugas fight, he knew that Earl was too strong for him at 140. Earl is still too strong for him at 147. The whole reason why he was stalling is to make sure that he can weight drain Earl. That's why Earl says it's hard to keep making the weight.
Right.
It's a strategy on the part of Bud Crawford. It's a coward strategy. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a coward strategy. They're not going to fight him at full strength. They're going to wait until he's not able to make the weight anymore.
Right.
And then they might decide, I'm going to fight you then.
Right.
If I was Earl, I'll move up.
That's a good point. I think the thing. What do you think about this, though? I think you got a very valid point. I think the thing that changed the whole narrative, that changed the whole outlook on that fight with Bud. I think that when Spence hired his nutritionist and he saw how strong Spence came in there, and Spence said, "I felt comfortable. I wasn't as bad as I was. You know what I mean? But I would like to move up soon. I've been here for 10 years." I do think that shook Bo Mack. It shook that whole crew.
Correct. They saw that he wasn't ready yet to be taken.
Right.
And a lot of the guys that have been fighting, they haven't been at full strength. Those guys like Mean Machine, Amir Khan, Kell Brook hadn't fought at 147 in 4 years. So he was taking these guys at the right opportunity. So Crawford is not pound for pound number one. That's all smoke and mirrors. As like Errol Spence said, smoke and mirrors.
Right.
That's all it is.
Yep. See, Crawford was my number one for the longest, and I had to exit that out of there because any fighter that would and I said this last night, Terrence Crawford had more to gain than Errol Spence because he would have been 2-time undisputed in the 4-weight belt era. You know what I'm saying? So he would have been in the Guinness Book of World Records. That is Hall of Fame first ballot right there. He's in. So why would you walk away from that? Anybody that would do that in his status, I had to back out of that.
Yeah, I got to back out of that too. All that number one pound for pound, ESPN talking about, put him on the list. No, he ain't pound for pound number one. Now I see what Errol was talking about back 3 years ago when he said it was smoke and mirrors. Careful matchmaking.
You don't walk away from a $40 million fight to go fight some guy for $5 million. You don't associate yourself with Daniel Kinahan when you got legitimate fights that are being put on here in the States. So people say PBC is going broke and they ain't got no money. That's a lie, because they just had a fight with Caleb Plant and Canelo Alvarez. They just had all these fights this year. So how you saying PBC going broke and they ain't got no money when we watching fights every weekend?
And they made money. They made money off those fights. They didn't
Correct.
take a loss. Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you, man.
So-
Appreciate you calling in on this, man.
Yeah, man. Keep the good work, bro. I'm gonna keep listening to you.
All right, man. Hey, you know what? You guys can always call back in and sound off at any time, man. Thank you for calling in.
For sure. Bye-bye.
All right. I got to give him an applause, man, for calling in and keeping it real, man. For real, man. He got a lot of good valid points in there, man. Yep. He said, Will Peoples. Oh, yeah, man. It ain't no collect call, man. It's just you call in. It's a 1-800. I mean, it's a Google number, so it's all a free call, man. So you should be able to call in. You can call in anytime, man. I got the phone lines open. Anybody want to call in, you know? Yeah, so you say you heard David got paid already. Why would he get paid? Well, I think what it was is I think these fighters, I think the reason why BLK had to go ahead and pay these fighters up front or give them so much money up front to make them make this fight is because they're a new company and nobody really knows them that much. And so to get them in, they had to pay them. So they had to get him in and they had to get Bud in. So they had to pay him. They had to pay him. Yeah. The phone line's open, man. Yeah. Just call right on in, man. It's a Google Voice number, man. So just call right on in, man. No problem. Yeah, it's open. Yeah, I'm leaving it open for you before we start another thing, so you can call right on in and sound on off, my guy. But yeah, man. But yeah, like Karma was saying, man, it's Canelo with all this extra weight, and then like Clint was saying that Wilder had that extra weight when he fought Fury. They thought by putting on extra weight that was going to help him carry Fury's weight. All it did was put like a fat suit on Deontay, which made him out of breath. You know what I'm saying? Deontay was more effective under 218. He's faster. He didn't get tired when he fought Ortiz. He could move around more. It was a lot of that. So I think that you have to make sure you watch a fighter's weight. I think that was just right there. I think that his trainer messed up by crossing over into the conditioning. If you're a trainer, stick to trainer. Get them a person to condition him. You know what I'm saying? Hell, he should have went and got Blu-ray. If Spence wasn't going to use Blu-ray, you know what I'm saying? That's crucial to a boxer. See, boxers don't understand that. Boxers think, you got to be tip-top condition and you are what you eat. You got to eat the right foods as a boxer. One thing that I don't understand about these boxers is if you got all this money, correct? Hire the people in, hire in a chef, hire in the nutritionist / chef, hire in somebody that can help you train because you got to keep that muscle up. You got to keep that strength up, but it's got to be effective muscle. You know what I'm saying? You don't just go put on heavy muscle mass. You know what I'm saying? I want to show you guys something. Hold on. So you guys know what I'm talking about. Hold on. I know you guys. I know you guys like, damn, how much stuff has he really done? But the reason why I know about that, I'm gonna show you guys this. Look, it's been a while, but look at it like this. It expired in 2011. I just hadn't went and renewed them. You see that? That's AAAI certification. I was a personal trainer. So when I tell you guys this stuff, I've done it. I've done that stuff. And that showed you that if you look on there, it showed you I was certified down in Georgia. It was AAAI. I was a personal trainer for a while. And that expired in 2011. I think I got one after that. And I stopped being a personal trainer too, because I was doing that on the side as I was doing my real estate stuff. And so when I say this, Know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? I've been a part of that. I actually train athletes. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, that's what people really need. They need to go hire professionals. You know what I'm saying? So when I get on these channels and I start talking, I'm not just talking as a person that's just a talking head. You know what I'm saying? I really do this stuff. I've done it for a long time. Not saying I'm an expert. That ain't what I'm saying. Because everybody buys and drinks their own Kool-Aid. That ain't how I'm coming to you guys. But how I am coming to you guys is I know a little bit of what I'm talking about. But one thing I do know is that I don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? If it's something I don't know, I tell you guys. You know what I'm saying? But I was a personal trainer, and everything that Karma said is right. When you start putting on all that weight, you start going down in weight. Listen, for anybody that has trained, those few pounds mean a lot. Go in there and work out. Or if you've competed in anything, go in there and work out. Miss a day of eating good. And the next day, go run, go lift, go compete at whatever it is you do, and you'll have a terrible time. You'll be off. Your whole body will be off. Those 2 or 3 pounds and that eating will throw your whole body off. It will spin you out of control. Yeah. Yeah, Steve. Yeah, appreciate you, Steve. Yeah, Bud trying to negotiate and knows nothing about business side of boxing. He doesn't. Bud really doesn't know. But you know what's funny? It is not bad that Bud don't know. We all don't know. You know what I'm saying? Lawyers hire lawyers. You feel me? AAR. He said, breaking news, PBC orders Spence Thurman mandatory blue blood figure. Spence may drop the belt. I don't know that they did. And if they do, everybody is already ordering their thing. Spence can't fight everybody all at once. Staniosis was the first one that comes out. Staniosis was the first one to come. Everybody knew that. So Spence is going to take that Staniosis fight. He cannot fight all them on the same night. You know what I'm saying? It can't be done. So, and Spence already said he's not fighting. Let me just be real with y'all. Let me be real with y'all. They ordering that shit to save face because they know they got to order it. They got to get their fighters out there. They got these fighters that fight up under their umbrella. PBC, why would I keep fighting for PBC if they're not going to push Spence to get me to fight? Why would I fight for the IBF if they're not going to finally order the fight, right? So they got to kind of stick to it, correct? So this is it. Thurman wants that fight. Thurman is pressing him, correct? Spence already told the WBC, I'm not fighting Thurman. So you know what will happen? This is what possibly is going to happen. Spence is going to fight. All others will step aside. What? And info, I can't understand that last part. What an info? He said all others step aside. This is what's going to happen. Did you see Bernie the Boxer video today? No, I didn't see that Bernie the Boxer video today. I saw him put up something the other day, or I think it was a day or 2 days ago, or something like that. I saw, and it said that Spence, Bud is leaving Spence behind, or something like that, or Spence is some old bull. You know how Bernie them are, man. Bernie them happy that they do it as a duck. I don't know how you can be behind somebody as a duck. If I was really on Bud's team and I felt that, hey, man, I don't really want to speak against this, I would just shut up. I would just go back in the back. You know what I mean? But they doing it for clicks because they know people are getting pissed off. So they doing it for click. Remember I told you channels do clickbait stuff? That's what Bernie the Boxer is doing. He wouldn't like that if Spence had left Bud high and dry. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, this is what I'm saying. Oh, you think the WBO and the IBF is going to step aside? I don't think they will. I don't think they're going to step aside. I think Staniosis will take that fight because at the end of the day, why would they take? Because you have Jaron Ennis. Jaron Ennis is with Showtime too, right? Jaron Ennis is a bigger fight for that. Well, I ain't gonna say bigger. It'll be bigger fight because Errol Spence gotta want the fight too, and Errol Spence does not want that Keith Thurman fight. Now, don't get it wrong, AAR. I would love to see that fight. I would love to see it. I don't think Spence is going to take that fight. And guess what? The WBC is not going to strip Errol Spence. They're not going to strip him because Errol Spence makes too much money. He brings in more money. Listen, Errol Spence brings in more money than just about all the other boxers. He don't bring in more money than Canelo, but he brings in just as much. He's right up under Canelo. There's nobody else that pulls a crowd in like Errol Spence. Errol Spence fighting Terrence Crawford is going to be the biggest fight. It's going to be the biggest fight. So they met today. It's done. Nah, listen, you have to show me on that one. I don't believe it because Earl has always said he's not fighting Keith Thurman. He said that. If Earl changed his mind, I'm all for it, bro. I'm all for it. I would love to see that fight. I would love to see that fight while he's waiting on Bud. I would love to see that fight. But I'm just going by what Earl said. You know what I mean? Maybe Tank. Tank does good, but I don't think. But see, Tank is good. I'm not doubting you on that one. I think the only thing is Errol Spence pulls all of Tank's people, but Earl also pulls in a little bit more of the Mexican fan base than any other black fighter. I think Earl pulls in any more Mexican fans because he's from down in Texas than anybody else. It said they franchised Spence today. Well, if they franchise Spence today, then that means that Spence doesn't have to fight him. You know what I'm saying? Then if he's the franchise champ, then guess what? Keith and Boots would have to fight. Keith and Boots would have to fight. Yeah, Will, the phone line is still open, my man. If you still need to cut. Hey, anybody want to call in? The number's on the screen, 954. I thought I pinned it. 954. There you guys go, right there. Putting it back up on the screen. I thought I pinned it in. I'm going to have to go there and pin it on the other one. Stanios already took step aside once. Yeah, he did. So he's up next for Spence. That's my point. They already promised Stanios. You know what I'm saying? So Stanios got to step in. And then Spence, think about it. If Spence says, I got to defend one belt, he has to defend one. He's going to go IBF with, IBF with, is it IBF or WBA? He'll go WBA with Stanios. Because the WBC Stanios ain't there. It would be Boots. That'd be Boots. Hold on. I'll tell you guys. Let's make sure. Let's make sure. This way I won't be just talking stuff. Welterweight. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Okay. For welterweight the WBA is Virgil Ortiz, Jeriah Ennis, then Keith Thurman. So Keith Thurman is number 3 on the WBA. For the WBC, it's Keith Thurman, Virgil, and Jeriah Ennis. And for the IBF, is Jeriah Ennis. Number 2 is not rated, and then Virgil Ortiz. So Stanios was supposed to fight Earl for that. So Stanios should be IBF before Jeriah Ennis. No, WBA. I'm sorry, WBA. When he supposed to be, it was the WBA. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm sorry. So the WBA is Errol Spence, and then you got Stanios. So he holds the belt, and so that's his direct one. Virgil Ortiz is number 1 for number 1 contender, but Stanios is there to fight Spence. If you guys go to boxing scene, you'll see it's Errol Spence and Stanios right there at the very top. So he's the regular champ. Oh yeah, T-word. Yep, same thing. Yeah. He said, I think the WBC will franchise, but I think the IBF will strip. You think they'll strip Spence? I don't know. Because this is the thing. If I think that they would hope that, and you could be right, but I think that they would hope that the Bud and the Spence fight would get done. So, Yeah. AR said they all met today. Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw the interview with WBC today. I saw him up there talking. Adrian. He said, let's not talk about Crawford, just duck. Ops, same thing. Yeah. So I just hope that they give give it a one more opportunity for it. But if they order the fight and make it, listen, if all sanctioning body order the fight, I don't think the other ones will drop him. He's going to have to take a mandatory. He's going to have to take a mandatory fight. Which one of it is, I don't know, but I just think. I was thinking, and I do know I saw that on. Okay. You said Blue Blood broke the news. Okay. The reason why I say okay is because I think on a little bit of that is that they hoping, okay, this person fight, that person fight, because they really want to quiet everything down because everybody's mad and they feel like if Spence fight, then him and Crawford could fight right after that. So I think there's a lot of that going on. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that, you know. Earl is an exciting fighter, which equals big numbers at the gates and pay-per-view. What's good? How's everything? Man, everything is going good, Adrian, man. Everything's going good, man. Appreciate you rolling up in here. Yeah, man. What we talking about today is what could be Spence's next move, man. And we was talking about how Bob put out an interview today. I'm sure you guys saw it. And he was talking about how that some of the people from over at Dublin or over there across seas, that he knew that they already paid David and that they gave Crawford a big portion of his money. And he thinks that the fight is going to definitely go on because somebody asked him, do you think the fight is going to go on? He said yes. Stephen Espinosa, they asked Stephen Espinosa about his thoughts about what happened with Bud. He said he was totally blindsided. He thought that the talks were going, but it was going relatively slow, but he was blindsided by it. So he was thrown off about it. They also asked Mauricio Suleiman. He was talking. They asked him about the stuff, and he said, we as sanctioning bodies, we were a little bit undone about what Bud, about what happened. We didn't order fights because we was hoping to make that fight. So I think that everybody's all up in a tizzy now that they're saying AAR was saying that today that they ordered the WBC. I saw that they were talking about it could happen with Thurman. Spence has been straight out the box saying that he doesn't want to fight Thurman. Yeah, he said, yeah, that shit's out of order. It is. It's all out of order. So everything's all mixed up right now. They're saying that they're going to order a fight. The IBF is talking about ordering a fight because Jerron Ennis, his dad, petitioned for the IBF to mandate that fight. The WBA, you got Stanionis and Spence. That was supposed to be a fight that Stanionis stepped aside because of the Ugas fight. So now that's coming back in play. And then you got Earl with the WBC, and they're saying that they're going to order it for Keith Thurman because Keith Thurman gave that belt up. Keith Thurman gave that belt up. He didn't get beat out of that belt. He lost the belts to Pacquiao, and so he lost that one. But Keith Thurman dropped the belt, so he's saying he should be back in contention because of that. And AAR is saying that he heard off another channel that they were going to order that fight. So yeah. C. Dewberry said Spence versus Fundora. What you think? I think that's his next move. It could be, because if he fights Fundora, then Fundora puts him up top where he wants to be if he moves up to 154. Adrian said Crawford. Next move is Spence, 65-35 or kick rocks, you plug. Yeah. Listen, man, I agree. I think the only thing that could make this fight be is if they have a contract already in place, already ready. Spence does his IBF. And I'll tell you this. If Bud, and I'm just saying if, I'm not saying it happened. If Bud and Spence and all of them come to an agreement, let's say they come into an agreement right now, because you heard Bud made the statement. I don't know if you can put money on it, but Bud came to a statement saying that once he finished with that guy, he still wants to beat up Spence, correct? So if Bud says, okay, I got the contract from Roll, you guys. Remember, he said he agreed to it. If everybody still say, okay, cool, you go fight that fight, we're going to do this one, whatever, we're going to let bygones, let's go and get this done. If they all agree to that, they can sign that fight now and have that. So when the other fight is done, this one comes into play. And then guess what? The sanctioning bodies will allow that to happen if they make that, put it in stone. Yep. Steve D said, where's Roy Jones? And James Tony and all the rest of them, all them experts are quiet. The reason why all them experts are quiet is because they all rubbed elbows with with Crawford, and they was all at the Hall of Fame, and everybody jumped on Spence talking about, we think Crawford will beat Spence. And then they try to save face and said, well, it could be a 50-50 fight, but they all leaning towards Bud. They don't want to come out now and dog Bud, so they all quiet. because they know it's a duck. Bud duck. He ducked. Said now Spence can drop the hammer. Oh, hell yeah, Spence can drop the hammer now. Hell yeah, he can. If Spence moves up to Fandora, then Charlo. I don't want to see him fight Charlo because, like I said earlier, is who is going to help him? I mean, Derek James can't be in both people's corner, and your coach helps you make the adjustments inside the fight. If they fight, then I think Derek James shouldn't be in either guy's corner and just let them fight. I see that. But if Derek James is pulling for the other, not the other one, then that fighter he's helping is probably going to do a lot better. So, yeah, I don't want to see it. Yep, you see what I'm saying? So, yeah. T Ward said Harrison, Fandora, and Cassiano, then Charlo. Hey, I say he fights all of them. I say Spence fights everybody but Charlo. Because I don't see that happening. Yeah, they brothers, man. I don't see that happening, man. I don't see it happening. Because, like I said, when Charlo needed Derek James in his corner when he was fighting Castano, right? Derek James helped him make the adjustments to win that fight. When Derek James, when Spence was in there fighting Ugas, Derek James was there to help him make the adjustments. That's what they're a team. They need that. You know what I'm saying? Even Floyd needed it. That's what I was saying in Floyd's previous fight when he's fighting Shane Mosley. When he was in there banging out with Shane Mosley and almost got dropped, he went back to the corner and Roger and him told him, man, just go in there and box this dude and beat this dude easily. So he went in there and he boxed the dude and he beat him easily. So you need your coach. So how can both of them two guys fight when they both need that coach? And they both need him to help them prepare for the fight, to come up with a good game plan on how to beat them. He knows both of their weaknesses. So how can you can't really, that's not going to be a good fight. I hope Charlo just moves on up to 160. And Jamal Charlo needs to move up to 168. And he needs to fight Caleb Plant. See, this is what needs to happen. Caleb Plant, Jamal Charlo need to move up, and Andrade, all of them need to fight. It need to be a four-way fight. It needs to be a four-way fight, man. T-Word says, Spence said if the money was right, I'd like to see Spence be Brady and win without DJ. Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm all for that fight. If Derek James is just say, hey, y'all both go get in shape and I'm not getting in there and let y'all fight. It'd be like a sparring match type deal. I'll watch that. It'll be a really good one because they spar all the time. So it'd be two dudes in there that really like each other, trying to knock each other out because they both competitive and they both fight it out and they both will make a lot of money at the end. So I would love to see it, but not if Derek James has got to be in one person's corner. So I just think it's got to be an overrated sparring match, Said Plant Big, Charlo Benavidez, and Andrade 168 tournament. Yeah, Big Charlo. Yeah. Plant Big Charlo Benavidez, Andrade in 168 tournament. I agree with you, man. That's what I want to see. Because at the end of the day, Canelo is not going to fight these young dudes, man. He's not going to fight them, man. He's going to keep holding these belts hostages. And right now, it's starting to get in the twilight of everybody. Everybody is at their prime and getting ready to start leaving out of their prime. They cannot afford to keep waiting on Canelo. Canelo is a damn duck. He's another Terrence Crawford. They ducks, man. They ducks. And that's why I say it's so crucial that while we on here at night, this trips to algorithms because our words and all that stuff trips to algorithms, correct? And what we talk about, people roll in there because people come in there and watch what we talk about. But this is the kind of stuff that we need to go put out there that if they're going to have these little whack fights, we're not going to watch them. We're not going to watch that Bud versus David. We don't want to see that. You said LT said Spence needs to go get a belt at 154. He can't get a belt at 154. All the belts are held by Jamel. Jamel holds them all. And more coming up next. Yep. What's up, Jay Jackson? Appreciate you for rolling up in here, man. What's up, Showboat Sports? I can't respect Crawford for the simple fact he passed up. Yep. Welterweight undisputed for an Adesanya fight. And do you think any other past great fighter, great boxer would pass that up? Nah, it's a duck. Nobody else would have done that, man. Sorry, man. It was scrolling while I was trying to read. But yeah, listen, man, there's no other fighter Jay Jackson. There's no other fighter that would have passed that up. Sugar Ray Leonard wouldn't have passed that up. Nobody would have passed. Roy Jones Jr. Nobody. That's why the greats are quiet. But like I said, the thing that I say that Bud is a bigger duck on that for is because Bud would have been 2-time undisputed. He'd been the first man to do it in the 4-belt era. Clarissa Shields did it in the women's division, right? And Clarissa Shields got in the Guinness Book of World Record. Now she's going to be 3 times in the Guinness Book of World Record for being the first person in the 4-belt era, man or a woman, but really a woman to do it. And Bud would have been the first male to do it 2 times in there. And he walked away from that. Why would you walk away from that? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. All those dudes don't need Canelo. They can make that big bag fighting each other. They can. They really can. They can. And then, you know what? It's going to make Canelo look bad. If all those guys, oh yeah, Riddick Bowe walked away. Yeah, Riddick Bowe walked away, which was a mistake. It was a mistake. Yeah. hey, Adrian said he didn't walk, he ran. Hell yeah, he ran. He did the 42 fake out and ran. He used them dudes and got his stock up and ran. But at the end of the day, that is going to tank. That fight can't make enough money to pay both of them 2 dudes a big bag. If I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to tell you guys I'm wrong. I'm not ordering it. And I'm not going to watch it. Now, if I find that Bud gets hurt, knocked out or whatever, if I see it pop up on YouTube and I see it come on, I might check it out, but I'm not paying a penny for it. I'm not paying a penny for that, because if they make money at that, guess what they're going to do? They'll pay Bud again to go fight another duck. And I'm not backing that shit at all. Track star. Hell yeah, he's a track star. Yeah, whatever happened to the actual garbage belt? Bud got it. They mailing it over to Bud. He's somewhere going to go hide it. He's going to be wearing it around Omaha or around the crib with he's going to be up there with Bernie the Boxer. Bernie the Boxer, I think they shining that up. Oh, yeah. He threw the WBC in the trash. Yeah, because of what the WBC was doing. Oh, you going to watch the T.O. fight? Yeah. I'm going to watch T.O. fight. I'm with you on that, bro. I might go live, watch that fight, or I might just sit around and just watch that fight. I don't know if I will or not, but yeah, I'm definitely going to watch that T.O. fight. I'm going to watch it. And you know what's funny? Hey, I'm okay with the humble T.O. because he got beat. He got beat by Kambosos. T.O. deserved to get beat by Kambosos because he was talking too much stuff and wasn't training. And he didn't have to take that Kambosos fight because it wasn't ordered. He had just won that fight from Lomachenko, and he turned right around and took that fight. Because you remember, what did he say? You remember the time he was in there jump roping in that little gym that looked like he was on turf? And he said, I sent the contract to Devin. We sent the contract to Kambosos. Whichever one gets back with us with the best offer, the best deal, that's the one we're going to go with. See, guys, it's lining up. Why do you think Devin said he's available in April? It's all lining up. He was damn lying. He was lying. He took the Kambosos fight. Yeah. RGW, appreciate you, fam, for rolling up in here, man. I think all greats have a dozen bums on their record after they got belts. Well, listen what I'm saying. To be considered a great, you had to fight somebody great. So I don't think there's no great out there can have 30 or 40 fights and don't have some people on there that wasn't the best. Because it's only so many champions you can beat. Floyd beat a lot of his fights. He beat a lot of champions, right? But when you look at right now, none of these guys in this era are fighting each other. Canelo don't really have a really good the best resume. Okay, think about it. Think about this. Adrian Broner has a good resume. Win or lose, you can't take it from Broner. He has a really good resume. Who else? Sean Porter has a really good resume. He fought a lot of good people, right? Bud doesn't have the best resume. Canelo doesn't have the best resume. Who has Canelo really beat that is really that amazing? Triple G was overrated a little bit, right? He really actually lost that first fight, right? And let's just keep it real. A lot of boxers these days don't have a lot. So what you guys said a little bit earlier is they need to do a tournament at 168. Jamel Charlo, Caleb Plant, Andre, and Benavidez. They all need to fight each other. Okay. Listen, I'm definitely watch that. I'm watching that TO fight. I'm watching it. I'm gonna get on there and watch it. Said I agree. I think Spence deserved that Pacquiao fight. Now I don't know how we will see him without the legacy fight. Yeah. Yeah, but the thing about it is Spence is pressing for that legacy fight. And that legacy fight is a double fight for him and Bud. Bud needs that fight too. I know in Bud's head, Bud is bitter because he feel like they treat him. Bud's got this old ego problem. I don't know what that shit is about. But Bud needs Spence. He needs him. He needs him. Adrian said, in my opinion, I don't see Haney, T.O., or Ryan breaking the top 5 at 140. I don't know, man. I don't know. I like to see it because this is the thing that I think about. When they all move up to 140, they'll gain a little bit of weight. They should some of it, with a few of them, might get a little bit more strength with them. Because I think that Ryan got a little bit of power in them hands. T.O. got a little bit of power in them hands, right? The people at 140 is a little slower than 135. As you move up in weight, sometimes people get a little bit slower. So T.O. is not the fastest. So, maybe Devin Haney has a lot of skills, but Devin Haney needs a little bit more power to keep these guys respectful at 140. So I had to see them in the weight to make my assessment on that. I had to see them fight at 140, maybe the second fight. First fight, second fight, we can see how they do. I'll make my judgment then. I'm a little bit on the fence with that, with you too. I like tournament 168. Yep. Big Baby Miller going to need a drug test. Hell yeah, he going to need a drug test. Hell yeah. But the problem is, man, they keep letting these guys take drugs and come back. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Said they can if they all fight each other and throw Shakur on there too. Yeah, Shakur can fight, man. That dude can fight, man. He said, not pillow punching Devin Haney. Yeah. But you know what? Yeah. Devin doesn't have a lot of knockouts, but I think Devin got enough power right now that they all respect it. He's got enough respect power. You know what I mean? They all young, a lot of upside for them. But I will say this about Devin. I like Devin's skills. Hopefully when he gains weight, it should transition a little bit where he hits a little bit harder, because in some of those fights, you're going to have power to stop these guys from walking all through. You know what I mean? Some guys just have a hell of a chin, and they could, like Roberto Duran. He had a hell of a chin, man. You got to really hit that dude, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to get some respect, and he's going to need it. Devin's going to need that. Steve D said, I don't understand how they let Bud fight all of these pussycats, but won't spend the fight lines. Man, that's just one of those things, man. But you know what? The only people that wants that is Bud fans. Bud fans are okay with Bud fighting that. Some people, and I don't get this with sports. You want to say your fighter is the best there is, correct? Why would you give your fighter a pass that he don't fight all those people, the best? You know what I mean? Like if I'm sitting somewhere, like right now, with us sitting here, let's say we all sitting out on the curb and we talking about who's the best fighter, right? If you talk about past fighters, oh man, I think that that Floyd couldn't beat Sugar Ray Leonard. Well, let's say you could make them to where they could fight. If they didn't fight, that would be crazy. Why would you not? If you could make them two fight, why would you not want them to prove who's the best? So when you look at this day and time, we're all saying, some people saying Bud is the best, some saying Spence is the best. Why would you not want your fighter to prove that? That to me is crazy, man. Why would you not want your fighter to prove he's the best? How can you talk crap? How can you know what I'm saying? How can you do any of that if your fighter ain't willing to back it up, and if you're not willing to hold your fighter accountable? I don't get that. Said Devin is still younger than all of them. Maybe when he's 25, he'll get his grown man strength. Man, he should be having that right now, bro. He might gain a little bit of weight and get a little bit stronger, man. You know what I mean? He said at some point he's got to fight. Yeah, Devin's got to fight at some point. You can't just always move around and do that, because guess what? Somebody like Shakur is going to be there. You know what I'm saying? AAR said money. Yeah, man, there's going to be some real good money fights, dog. It's going to be some real good money fights, man. It's going to be some real good money fights, man. I just want to see them go ahead and start fighting this out, man. ATT 140 Haney won't get past Russell at 147. Haney can't bang with boots. Philly is where I'm from. Oh, okay. He said Philly is where you from. Okay, I got you. Listen, man, some fighters in Philly, man. Yeah, man. He's not gonna get past Russell, man. He's not. I listen. He won't get past Anton Russell if he can't hit him hard enough to keep him off of him. And Anton Russell is gonna come in there to bang. He's gonna come bang. He is gonna come bang. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a fight that scares me for Haney. It's gonna be a really good fight, but it's gonna scare me because guess what? That one's gonna go out one of them gonna have to go out in a blaze of glory. Because you know what? The Russells come to fight and they all can fight. They got skills too. They got skills, and Anton Russell can hit. He can hit, man. But like I said, your boy Haney's got to do it. But guess what? Listen to what I'm saying about this. I think Haney should fight him. I think Ryan Garcia. I think they all should fight. I think at 135 right now, I think that Shakur Stevenson should have to fight Loma. He should have to fight Haney. Tank, I think they all should get in there and mix it up. Why is it all the best fighters are not fighting each other? Have y'all really think about that? Devin Haney and Tank, they not fighting. Ryan Garcia ain't fighting Tank. He ain't fighting Devin Haney. They saying they in talks where he's supposed to fight Tank, but they saying that it's good, but it's bad. It's been coming up and down. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know. They saying they should fight, but it's crazy, man. I want to see it. He said, I want to see Haney show everybody that the sweet science means more than power. Yeah. Well, listen, sweet science is good, but like we said, and I like Haney. I think Haney is trying to show he's the best, but Haney, you got to have enough power to keep people off of you. Floyd didn't have the hardest punching power, but Floyd did knock some people out. And Floyd, as he got a little bit older, his hands and stuff was brittle. He hit people and he had enough respect to slow him down. Shakur Stevenson said he's had the same problem with his hands too. Shakur Stevenson said the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I said. He had power. He knocked people out, but once his hands got brittle, he had that power, but he just had enough power to have a respect. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Floyd put a lot of people down. But once he got up there to 147, his hands and stuff, he just couldn't, you know what I mean? And Shakur Stevenson is the same way. Shakur Stevenson said that. He said, man, my hands, he been hurting his hands too. You know what I mean? So the hands and stuff. So he's saying, and Shakur said he's been having other people wrap his hands too. So he's been getting his hands wrapped and stuff. So I'm Floyd it too. Yeah. Now, I haven't heard Haney have that problem. Maybe Haney ain't hitting hard enough. But and Tank's been breaking some hands, but I don't think it's because his hands are brittle. Tank just hits that damn hard. But my problem with all of them is they got to start fighting somebody. And I like Tank. And that's what I'm saying about the Bud people. I like Tank. I like Shakur. I like all those guys. But I don't want to see none of those guys dodging each other. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see it. So that's why I'm confused to the people that's backing Bud on this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? How can you back somebody with that? I don't get it. Yeah, Floyd went from pretty boy with power, then got hurt, and then turned into money. He said some cats don't know the history of boxers. Yeah. When he was Pretty Boy Floyd, he was putting it down. See, the people, but you know what? People didn't watch Floyd when he fought Chico. You know what I'm saying? Chico was, you know what I'm saying? Chico was the man. Chico was the man. Diego Corrales was the man. He was the man. The dude, listen, Chico was a monster. Nobody wanted to fight Chico. You know what I'm saying? Chico, Diego Corrales, he the one beat Robert Garcia. You know what I'm saying? Do you remember that fight? He beat the hell out of Robert Garcia. You know what I'm saying? Chico was the man. And Floyd went in there and handled him. You know what I'm saying? And that's back when Floyd was fighting up under Jay Prince. See, Floyd fought for Jay Prince. And when he's fighting under Jay Prince, they was like, well, look, you need a good coming out fight. And so he went in there and he pushed Diego Corrales at a press conference, wanting to fight him and all that, right? So then they made that fight happen. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Floyd at the lighter weights was a beast, man. He was knocking people out. Like I was saying, when he fought Diego Corrales, man, it was a dude. And Diego was a beast, but they don't give Floyd credit for that. See, a lot of people just see Pretty Boy Floyd when he retired and came back. You know what I'm saying? When he went all the way out to wrestling, and when he came out of wrestling, he came back, then that's when they all jumped on the bandwagon and saw it. You know what I mean? So it actually was a really good fight. It was a really good fight, man. Floyd was a beast. But at the end of the day, everybody wants that Floyd money, but nobody put in the work that Floyd put in as Pretty Boy Floyd. So everything you guys saying is right, man. Everything you guys saying is right, man. Yeah, man. Man, but yeah. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. And so all these new fighters, they all got to fight each other. And so I'm going to leave all you guys with this because I'm going to sign on off, man. We've been on here rocking tonight, man. I appreciate everybody showing up and all this stuff, man. I'm going to leave you guys with this, man. We got to keep pushing the narrative of we can't be supporting these foolish fights like Bud. We got to always say that, man. We got to say that to everybody we talk to, man. We got to make sure that fight ain't a good fight. Because if they make money off of this, they're going to pay him again. And we will never see Spence and Bud. We won't see it, man. We won't see it, man. But all right, guys, man, appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. Make sure that you guys hit the like button on your way out, guys. Please, man. Do that for all of us, man. That way the channel keep growing, man. We get some more people up in here, man. Appreciate you guys, man. Thanks for everybody tuning in, man. And we're going to get out of here, man. So until next time, guys, we are out. I'm going to drop this down on you guys right there.